we've identified our stakeholders, their fears, their concerns, their interests, and possible win-win interactions with them, it's time to develop our stakeholder communication plan. Now, this is how we're going to keep our stakeholders informed with the right kind of information at the right frequency, with using the right medium. And again, remember, underlying thing is the win for us is doing this as efficiently as we want. What information do they need? Firstly, that's the first thing to think about. What do they need to know in order to be positive, supportive, or at least, in the case of negative stakeholders, neutral? How often do we need to keep them updated? Some will need it more frequently than others. And whose job is it? If you can, use your existing reporting structure to communicate with your stakeholders. What do we mean by that? Let's say, for example, you have monthly visits to the project site, and you can use that to use a focus group discussion as a channel for communication and dialogue with certain stakeholders. Depending on where your project is and the nature of your stakeholders, you may find that with, for example, younger stakeholders in an urban area, social media and video, etc. is a better way to broadcast your information to them. And other stakeholders may prefer things that are more traditional reports, newsletters, and of course face-to-face interaction. And also think about whether your stakeholders need hard copy or electronic copy if it's published information. For some stakeholders, you may need to reach out with more than one channel. For example, if we're working in public health, we may be using posters and leaflets in the health clinic. We may have a radio show. We may be using the press to promote the message. We may be organizing town hall meetings or community meetings. We may need multiple channels to make sure we reach our stakeholders. We've already done columns 1 to 7. Notice column 6 is about how to communicate with this group. That's where we can also put the medium of how we're going to reach them. And if you are going to use more than one channel, you can add another channel of channel of communication in column 6. The win-win strategy may sound very similar to how to communicate. Maybe your communication channel is the win-win strategy. But moving on to 7, 8, 9, what information do they need? How frequently do they need that information? And whose job is it to provide that, to communicate?